we're going to take a couple minutes to give you some options about how you can create a science journal at home using supplies you might have around your house and giving you options about how to use different forms to create your nature journal. One option is to use a notebook that you can take pages out one at a time and then gather them all together. Here is that example. Another is to use a spiral notebook and add all the information in it. That keeps everything together in one place. Another option for your journal pages is to use something recycled. Here I have an old piece of mail. I flipped it over and I'm writing all the information I need on the other side. This not only helps to save trees, but also uses resources you might have around the house. Sometimes it's hard to find a notebook, and this is an easier way to use resources to create your nature journals. I often like to use blank pages of paper because it allows me to have more room to draw my sketches and add more information. A sketch is a light drawing that allows you to add as much detail as you can about what you observe in nature or in a science experiment. It's really helpful for recording data. All right, now let's walk through this process step by step. I'm going to start by putting the date on my page. This allows me to know when I took this recording so I can look back at it in the future and see what happened. I also like to add the time because lots can change with plants at different times of the day. I follow it by adding the weather. This also lets me know why the plants might be doing certain things based upon how warm it is. Here I'm writing what I did that day. This helps me to remember what things have happened in the past so I can think about the future. One of the most important parts of a science journal is making sure I'm adding as much detail as I can. Oftentimes, this is using words to describe what I did and what I noticed. It also is adding a sketch with as much detail as I can. Often, I'll even put how tall something is and a little bit of more information. This helps me to see in the future what changes have occurred and how the growth of the plant is coming along. Labeling what you draw is also very important. You can see that I labeled the seed leaves and also gave a definition of what they are. That way, if you forget some information, you've had it written down and you're able to reflect and learn about it later. Here I'm sketching the true leaves and showing how they're different from the seed leaves. All right, it's time to synthesize all this together. Let's go over everything to include in your journal. Make sure that each new day you put the date in the left-hand corner or in the right-hand corner if that's how your teachers have you do it at school. After you put the date down, then I would like you to put the time. This lets us know what might change with our plants from day to day and time to time. Finally, underneath the time, put the weather. This lets us see how the plants might change depending on the weather outside. Again, you can put this in the left-hand side or the right-hand corner of your page. Make sure you put a title on your notebook. That way you know what you're supposed to be learning about that day. Again, either side is fine. The last thing is to leave quite a bit of room for you to write notes about what you learned and any sketches you might have in your lessons. All right, happy journaling!